Can we go over some of the injury? How's Zarek doing?
Yeah, we got a scan last night, so we don't know yet, but we think it's a possible MCL sprain. So he's, but we'll see. We'll get the scan. I don't want to speculate yet, but that's what the trainer said, possible MCL sprain. He was limping, having a tough time walking yesterday, and he looks a little bit better today, not quite as stiff. May have had something to do with the travel. We didn't end up getting out. We were supposed to fly out the night of the game. We didn't get out. Our flight was delayed, so we ended up having to charter the next day. So we got in yesterday, and he was struggling, but he feels a little bit better today.
So, obviously not for tomorrow, and then you guys will just have to reevaluate with the scan.
I think it's highly unlikely that he'll play this week. Yeah. So that's why we're in a situation where we probably it's a little sooner than we would like with Vitas, but we think he can get 60 in, and thought he had a really, a good first impression on these minutes. Won a couple headers, won a couple tackles, got a crossing that should have been a goal, and, so I think that's what you're going to get with him, But and he's had 2 really good weeks of training, so he's ready for about 60.
Liam?
Liam's still sore with the calf, so we PRP'd him last week, and we're hopeful for Sunday, but I don't know yet. I think it's 50-50.
You've talked about the importance of Champions League, and here it is. With everything going on, is your excitement level still at that high level? Yeah, it's nice to have another game, and in spite of the last 2 results, which were disappointing, we know that if we win this Champions League game and then we win the next league game, that we're looking good and we're feeling good, So it's a week where we have to put the last 2 behind us quickly, and you can do that because you have another game. So it comes at a good time, I think, because like I said, we can get a couple results here and we're looking good and feeling good, and I'm excited because this is a huge priority for us. That'll be reflected in the lineup. We'll have a couple rotations, but we're going to put a really good lineup out, and it's a must-win game. All 4 of the Champions League games, I think, you have to approach them as they're kind of must-wins, and so number 1 is 3 points. Obviously, we know the tiebreakers and this and that, but the tiebreakers only apply if you're tied with a team. And ultimately, tomorrow, the priority is 3 points, no matter what the score is, and stay healthy.
What do you know about Dragon? What are you able
Not
to
much.
find?
Not much. We know, obviously, they won the league last year, and they sold most of their players. So they only kept 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in preseason, and they've only played 2 games. Preseason game, they played the first league game. The league game, there were 2 red cards early in the game, so it was basically a 10-on-10 game, which you can't see a lot there. And because of so many new players, we don't know a lot about their individuals, and you can't get any video. So it's part of being in the Champions League. Some of these countries you can't find video on guys. It's a whole new team. We do know their preferred system, their formation. Some of those things I think will be important. We worked on a little bit, our shape, how we defend and attack versus kind of the shape we think they're going to play. So I think that helps. But in terms of like individuals and overall, just having a picture, with video, and we don't have much.
It's almost like a flashback to youth soccer, right? When you didn't know who you were playing.
Yeah, you go in a little blind. Like I said, I think it's not all bad because we focus on executing ourselves, and we will factor in, their shape and formation and how we kind of match them and some of the things that we look to do to open them up. Those are always key things, but we also have to keep an eye when the game starts because they might do something completely different. But in terms of preparing our guys for individual tendencies, it's nearly impossible.
What do you think you've learned since with the experience in 2014 that you can take into your approach to this year's Champions League?
I think just, making sure you get the right lineup. Obviously it's important. How much do you, it's difficult, these decisions are, how much do you make sure you get the result? How much do you overcook yourself for the next game? I think that's the biggest thing you just got to be smart with. So I think that's the biggest thing we've learned. Obviously
the road goals and all that are important. But like I said, the only way the road goals are important with Dragon is if they're tied with us at the end on points. So, we can't prioritize that so much that, we need to get 3 points. If it ends up being 3 points and we give up a road goal, that's not what we want, but ultimately it will only matter if they're tied with us at the end of it. And, not sure that will be the case. If we take care of business with 6 points versus Dragon, then I think it's probably going to come down to the Saprissa in those 2 games.